All right, everyone, welcome. Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025 at 5:34 p.m., and we're going to call this regular meeting of the Wake County Board of Education to order. I want to welcome those of you who are watching at home via our streaming and those that have chosen to join us here in person tonight. Wake County Board of Education meetings are held for the purposes of carrying out the official business of the school district. The public is cordially invited to attend board meetings to observe the board as it conducts its official business. Persons who willfully interrupt, disrupt, or cause disturbances at an official meeting may be directed to leave by the presiding officer. Members of the audience, please show respect for your fellow speakers. For those who've come out to speak and share comment with us tonight, please refrain from loud comments, noises, and other disruptions. Disruptions by any person or persons of a public meeting will be subject to action in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 143(3)1817. So we do have a quorum tonight, and at this time, I'd ask those of you who are able to please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. So the first thing on our meeting agenda tonight is consideration of our meeting agenda. Board members have seen the items on the agenda. At this time, I'd entertain any motion. Vice Chair Swanson.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Vice Chair Swanson and a second from Ms. Mahaffey to approve our meeting agenda. All in favor of adoption of the meeting agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the meeting agenda has been adopted. And the first item on tonight's agenda is a recognition item. We will welcome up our Area Superintendent, Ashley Thompson, who will speak to us on the naming of the Fuquay-Varina High School football field. Welcome, Dr. Thompson.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Hegarty, Superintendent Taylor, and members of the board. I'm here this evening to introduce to you the principal of Fuquay-Varina High School, Mr. Mike James. Mr. James will be sharing details regarding a request to name the football field at Fuquay-Varina High School after a longtime educator who served the Wake County Public School System at Fuquay-Varina High School as a teacher, athletic director, and coach. After the recognition item, we are seeking your approval for this request.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. We'll hear from Principal James.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Good evening, Superintendent Taylor, Chairperson Hegarty, and board members. This year, the Fuquay-Varina High School is celebrating our 50th anniversary as an integrated school at our present 201 Bengal Boulevard address. In celebrating this milestone year, we are emphasizing our academic, athletic, and civic community legacies. It is a privilege to present to you this evening, on behalf of the Fuquay-Varina High School Athletic Boosters Club, our request for your approval in naming the football field at Bengal Stadium after the very first Fuquay-Varina High School varsity head coach for football and longtime physical education teacher and athletic director, Graham Myrick. I am joined by Jason Smith of Fuquay-Varina Athletic Boosters, James Mountford, Fuquay-Varina High School Athletic Director, and Coach Graham Myrick, who is here with us this evening, along with his wife, Vicki. Coach Myrick represents a significant time and place in the history of Fuquay-Varina High School. Coach Myrick began his teaching and coaching career in 1964 at the all-white high school of Fuquay-Varina High, formerly Fuquay Springs High School. In 1970, he was a critical figure in the integration of Fuquay-Varina High School and the African-American Fuquay Consolidated High School into what we celebrate today as the Fuquay-Varina High School. And in 1975, when the very first standalone integrated Fuquay-Varina High School campus was built, he was the face and name of the physical education and athletics department that has cemented a legacy we celebrate this year in our 50th anniversary at Bengal Boulevard. Coach Myrick was first and foremost a physical education teacher. He always thought of his classroom teaching responsibilities as priority number one and considered coaching an extension of his classroom. Coach Myrick stated, quote, "I enjoyed every day I worked at Fuquay-Varina High School and couldn't wait to get back the next day," end quote. While serving the Fuquay-Varina community and our students of the Wake County Public School System, Coach Myrick spent 30 years teaching and coaching. He served not only as the physical education department chair, but he also coached football, girls basketball, baseball, track and field, and he also served as the athletic director of the school. Coach Myrick retired in 1992, treasuring the friendships he made with students, fellow teachers, administration, which endure to this day. Ask many Fuquay-Varina High School alumni, and they will be able to recall not only the name Graham Myrick, but his influence and legacy in their lives, our school, and in our community. I'd like to share a little bit of Coach Myrick's legacy with you tonight. Coach Myrick taught physical education and healthful living to over 4,000 students. He coached football for 27 seasons and coached over 400 players. 9 of them went on to be teachers and coaches. When asked about how many conference titles Fuquay-Varina High School won, his answer was a bunch. But he did add that Fuquay-Varina High School made the playoffs 17 straight years with one Class 2A final championship game appearance against Lexington High School, a game that many longtime Fuquay-Varina residents and Fuquay-Varina High School alumni remember with extreme heartburn. Coach Myrick said, quote, "Fuquay's football teams didn't have the size or depth as many others, but on Friday nights, nobody was going to outwork us," end quote. Coach Myrick also said, quote, "I would hope that I'm remembered as a hardworking teacher and coach who loved the community and the students it produced. I hope in some small way that I helped to prepare my students both in the classroom and on the field to play the game of life to the best of their abilities. As athletic director, I like to think that I laid a solid foundation upon which today's programs are built," end quote. Indeed, Coach Myrick's work is an important chapter in the legacy of our school and our community. As the principal of the Fuquay-Varina High School, I confirm that this request meets the requirements of the Wake County Public School System Board Policy 9300 for naming a school facility. Additionally, I would like to confirm that the Fuquay-Varina High School Athletic Booster Club will work in tandem with Wake County Public School System facility staff to ensure any fiscal implications will be funded by the Booster Club and from private donations. At this time, we are requesting the board's approval to name the football field Graham Myrick Field at Bengal Stadium after a pivotal legacy individual, teacher and coach, Graham Myrick. I thank you for your consideration of our proposal and all you do on behalf of students in the public school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal James. At this time, we do have an item before us on our action agenda, an action item. There has been a request. You've heard the request. This is the naming of the Fuquay-Varina High School football field on behalf of Coach Myrick. Ms. Mahaffey.
Thank you, Chair Haggerty. It is with a bunch of enthusiasm, having seen not your particular legacy, Coach Myrick, but what you started through other athletic directors, including Mr. Mountford, and what that has come to, that I make a motion to accept the request from the Fuquay-Varina High School Booster Club in order to name the football field the Graham Myrick Field at Bengal Stadium. Roll Bengals.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mahaffey. Ms. Gordon, I believe you have a second?
I do have a second.
All right, we do have a motion and a second before us. At this time, before we vote, are there any comments from board members? Ms. Mahaffey.
As Mr. James mentioned, this is the 50th year of Fuquay-Varina High School at Bengal Boulevard, celebrating the legacy that Coach Myrick helped to begin. I know there will be more celebrations to come, and I am so grateful that this is the one to kick us off. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mahaffey. Any further board comment? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of granting the request to name the Fuquay-Varina High School football field after Coach Myrick, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thank you,
you.
Dr. Thompson.
Thank you.
Thank you, Principal James, and thank you, Coach Myrick. and we'll stand in brief recess just to allow our school team to commemorate the moment. Thank you. All right, everyone, we will come back to order, and we'll proceed with our agenda. The next item on the agenda tonight is our public comment portion. Speakers commenting on items on tonight's agenda will be heard before speakers commenting on other topics. All other speakers will be heard in order of sign-up. Only the person speaking at the podium should stand during the comments. Again, all attendees that are not speaking at the podium, one at a time, should remain seated. Concerns related to personnel issues or student matters may be addressed through applicable WCPSS personnel policies, the grievance policies, or other applicable procedures. If you have such an issue, please remain after public comment, and a member of our staff may be able to assist you here before you leave after the meeting. In the interest of maintaining civility and decorum, speakers are encouraged to address their comments to the Board of Education. Those of us up here must refrain from personal attacks or insults directed at staff, members of the general public, the board. Again, please direct your comments up here, not toward any other speakers or members of the public. Please remain at the podium during your speaking time. If you have materials you wish to share, please give those to our attorney, Mr. Malone, at the end of the table, either before you speak or after you speak, and that way that action won't come out of your time. I mentioned time, you may speak for up to 3 minutes. If you have not spoken here before, please note that the microphones are adjustable. When you begin speaking, that's when your time will start. The green light at the podium will come on, and as I said, you will have 3 minutes. The first time you hear a tone and you see the yellow light, that indicates that you have 30 seconds remaining. When you see a red light and hear a second tone, that means that your time has expired, and we will call the next speaker up to the podium. So please respect the time limit. If you have more to say that you were not able to get in within the 3 minutes, please, you can send your comments to the board by email, by written letter. You can continue to share your thought, but you do need to surrender the microphone at that time. So at this point, we will go to our list of speakers who are signed up for public comment. We have no student speakers tonight. We have no speakers on our agenda topics. So then we'll proceed with the speakers in order of sign-up. Our first speaker tonight will be Joseph Deaton, who will be followed by Colleen Miller. Good evening.
Teachers who are caring and supportive of students and generous in giving extra attention are highly valued and, I would say, loved. But special attention must be within boundaries. Policy 4040 requires reporting behaviors having the appearance of impropriety. This needs to be more specific because school employees nationwide have remained silent when they saw suspicious behaviors that then led to abuse in case after case. One-on-one tutoring or help with special projects must only be in open, visible areas, no special helpers after class, no students having lunch with staff in private. Transportation Policy 6305 says giving rides in staff cars is strongly discouraged. Not good enough. It must be prohibited except in bona fide emergency. This must be repeated in Policy 4040. After-hours coaching, music lessons, etc., must be chaperoned in some way. The SRO or principal must check storage rooms, etc., on an irregular schedule, especially after hours. No hugs or hands on the shoulder or similar touching, high fives instead. No giving gifts or treats or special privileges unless for the whole class. No sexual conversation other than mandatory sex ed. No telling dirty jokes or double entendres. No oversharing or questioning about personal life and relationships. And of course, no providing pornographic literature or images. Regarding the latter, the committee consisting of board members Mahaffey, Hagerty, and Gordon voted to keep the book Kite Runner with its description of a gang sodomy rape in the English 2 curriculum after a parent filed an objection. What are you thinking about? It's not possible to list every conceivable boundary crossing, but the common types of boundary crossing must be spelled out in 4040 so employees have a clear idea what they are required to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Colleen Miller, who will be followed by Maddie Siegel.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I continue to be troubled by the fact that public schools allow minors access to literature that's not age appropriate. One book that comes to mind, as Joe just mentioned, is The Kite Runner. I read the book about 20 years ago. Even as a mature adult, I found the book deeply disturbing. It has graphic depictions of extreme cruelty and violence, including child rape, murder, beatings, and attempted suicide. I even had nightmares after reading this book. It was that disturbing for me. The brutality of the Soviet communist and Taliban warriors perpetrated on innocent Afghan people were etched on my brain. I can't imagine the effects on the brain of a minor student. I'll just describe one gut-wrenching incident. Hassan lay with his chest pinned to the ground. Kamal and Wiley each gripped an arm, twisted and bent at the elbow so that Hassan's hands were pressed to his back. Asaf was standing over them, the heel of his snow boot crushing the back of Hassan's neck. "Fine," Asaf snapped. "All I want you weaklings to do is to hold him down. Can you manage that?" They nodded and looked relieved. Asaf knelt behind Hassan, put his hands on Hassan's hips, and lifted his bare buttocks. He kept one hand on Hassan's back and undid his belt buckle with his free hand. He unzipped his jeans, dropped his underwear. He positioned himself behind Hassan. Hassan didn't struggle, didn't even whimper. He moved his head slightly and caught a glimpse. I caught a glimpse of his face. I saw the resignation in it. It was a look that I had seen before, the look of the lamb. I turned away from the alley. From just around the corner, I could hear Asaf's quick, rhythmic grunts. And that was as close as Hassan and I ever came to discussing what had happened in the alley. I thought he might burst into tears. I pretended I hadn't heard the crack in his voice, just like I pretended I hadn't seen the dark stain on the seat of his pants, or those tiny drops that fell between his legs and stained the snow black. The offender of this rape was a child, not even an adult. He went on to become a serial child molester and would contribute money to an orphanage where he would procure young children to satisfy his deviant behavior. Even though the author is a gifted writer, this book is not one I believe should be introduced to minor students. Beautiful prose about ugly trauma does not make it a worthwhile read. The trauma in this book might eclipse some of the benefits teachers are seeking, like teaching students to stand up to bullying. I believe there are much better books for achieving this goal. Why take a chance? One book I can recommend is Escaping Vietnam by a North Carolina author. The book is a memoir of a young woman who escaped persecution by the Viet Cong, years in the jungle of Cambodia. She achieved the American dream finally after she escaped the Khmer Rouge regime. This book should be read.
Our next speaker is Maddie Siegel, who will be followed by Dr. Kimberly Mukhtarian.
Thank you, Chair Hagerty and members of the Wake County School Board and Superintendent Taylor. It's nice to be here with you all tonight. My name is Maddie Siegel, and I have a son who attends Jeffries Grove Elementary, and my sister teaches at Northridge Elementary School. So I have a couple ties to the school system. I work professionally in food systems on the state and federal levels, and I have a request for you all. Hopefully it's a simple one, and it's related to our school meals program. As you likely know, the recently signed federal budget bill makes deep cuts to SNAP and Medicaid, two programs that directly determine school meal access for millions of children. I am concerned about the thousands of families here in Wake County who will feel the impact of those cuts. And I believe that we have a moral obligation to ensure that no child in Wake County goes hungry, especially at school. Statewide, more than 850,000 children qualify for free school meals because their families participate in SNAP or Medicaid. Roughly 60,000 of these children, and that's based on Google research, I don't know if that's totally accurate, I think it's about right, live right here in Wake County. If those benefits are reduced, families could be forced into complicated applications and income verification just to access meals. And while CEP schools do help, they don't cover every child, as you know. And changes in eligibility with individual children could even affect schools that currently qualify. And I did see in the newsletter we did have some new CEP schools, so that's congratulations on that. But I'm worried about the qualifications moving forward. I know some of the impacts are not clear yet, and they're not happening in the immediate future. We're looking at 2026, 2027 impacts likely. But for now, I just have a simple request. And I'm wondering if you might be able to use the district newsletter to share some information. Ironically, as I drove in here today, I had a two-part request, and you all did one of them, which was to reshare the application for applying for school meals. So thank you for doing that. We can check that box. But my second request was if you would please share community hunger resources with our community through the district newsletter. I will follow up through email after this and provide my contact information. And I'm also connected with the NC Alliance for Health, who does incredible work on this at the state level. So I'm happy to support you there however I can. As federal cuts to food assistance take hold, school meals are one of the last lines of defense for hungry kids. So thank you all for your support and your leadership in our community and for our students and educators. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Mukhtarian, who will be followed by Eileen Allen.
Good evening, Wake County Board administrators and board members. My name is Dr. Kimberly Mukhtarian, proud grandmother of Kevin James Carter, a 7th grader at Riverbend Middle School. This year, he was offered or solicited to sell an e-vape, the liquid form of tobacco. And boy, have my family had a history of tobacco. He was targeted then, but we've been targeted for 400 years to till tobacco. The disheartening disappointment is that Wake County wanted Kevin to pay a fee for going to class because he sold that vape. The excess fee was $400. That would have been passed on to my daughter and to the many other mothers, grandparents in Wake County Public School System. Unfortunately, if you cannot pay, you are bonded over to the alternative schools, 5 which are in the 27610 zip code. I find this an atrocity. Why? Because we are not only Southeast Raleigh residents, but our people are from Cary. We are part of Lincolnville, one of the 13 freedmen's villages in Raleigh after the Civil War. And it was our community that was taken by the state of North Carolina to build Polk Youth Center. Our location is on North Carolina State University's property at Carter Finley Stadium. So in exchange for our wealth, they stole our wealth and gave us crumbs. And I bet you that is the story of many of our African-American children who are wearing the badge, the Jewish star called free and reduced, low income. But we've tilled this land, and I find it very hypocritical that you all would sue the company Jewel for targeting our children. But we've been targeted for 400 years for that very tobacco. And so again, I'm asking you to recategorize our children. I need you all to look deeper because it is tied to the dignity, the suspensions, the thousands of children who will be bonded over to alternative schools and then bonded over to your prisons where the numbers are the same, versus people of color who will have a pipeline to RTP
Thank you,
and to
Dr.
other
McTernan.
locations. I look
All right.
forward to having that meeting with
Dr.
you all.
McTernan, your time has expired. Thank you. The next speaker tonight will be, excuse me, I lost my place here, will be Eileen Allen, and she will be followed by Eileen Johansson. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Colleen spoke of the flight of the kite runner in that disturbing book that is in the English curriculum. The kite runner is but emblematic of a disturbing pattern of sexual grooming of our children, starting in kindergarten. In Wake County Elementary School, sexual identity is questioned and undermined in scores of books such as Julian is a Mermaid and Morris Micklewhite and His Tangerine Dress. Both books are found in many of the elementary schools. Explicit sex, excessive profanity, sexual nudity, violence against children, and most disturbing, divisive racial commentaries are in our middle school with such books as Monday's Not Coming and Last Night at the Telegraph Club. And Centennial Campus Middle School houses the book Call Me By Your Name that glorifies pedophilia, with the sodomy rape of a teen by a visiting professor and the boy's lustful pursuit of his rapist. Our high schools seem to have no boundaries either. Boy Toy is about a boy's molestation by a teacher. Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye is filled with profanity, derogatory terms, sexual assaults, molestation, but the most disturbing aspect of the novel is the inflammatory racial and religious commentaries. Both books are in most of the high schools. Board members and Superintendent Taylor, what is the goal of inculcating into our children's sexual license? Stimulating libidos has deflected from stimulating minds. Competency rates show rather than reading, writing, and arithmetic, it's too much focus on sex and sodomy and sensationalism. School board members, you can do better. Choose books that edify rather than divide. Inspire excellence rather than self-sexual gratification. And parents, be aware of what your children are exposed to in Wake County schools. If the curriculum undermines your values, you have a legal right and a parental duty to opt your children out of damaging material. Let us inspire the students to academic excellence and moral fortitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, our final speaker for the night is Eileen Johansson.
said outside that I'm glad we have good hospitals because they gave me a good new hip replacement. That's good. All right. And I've been a little bit out of the loop because I've been stuck home. That's the other Eileen. And I'm Eileen. I wanted to give you these in case you weren't able to read all of them, all of the pages that is on what we were talking about. You know, we have to have a time when we have to have a petition for one book. It just doesn't make sense, you know? So I have two things in my mind that are very personal to me. And the one thing that I realize is that most people, all they care about, and it's like since forever, personal peace and affluence. That's what we're about. That's what we're about as human beings. Personal peace and affluence. And that's what we're worried about today with the children. And then there's another one here that really, I could go real deep with this one, but I won't. So out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So there's a lot of really nasty hearts. There's hearts that are not good in our life today. So it's funny, I'm sort of a book collector, and when you talk about books and why we have to have a petition for one book, I have here The World of a Girl. Beautiful, beautiful. My mother gave me this when I was about to become a woman. This is from my mother. It's a beautiful thing. There wasn't anything in here about pornography or anything like that. It was just the perfect book, and I saved it. I'm 75 years old, and I saved that book. And then there's another one here. How to Understand and Influence Children. Success for Parents and Children. Clyde Narrymore, he's great. I don't think I read the whole thing, but I know what's in there. And then there's another one. This one is Understanding and Guiding Teenagers. This is a great book. It's the same author. You know, this is how we lived back in the day. We don't live that way anymore. Oh, here's another one. Beginning for Marriage. Beginning your marriage. These are the kind of things that people would get married and have a great life. You know, here's another one. Here's a good one. Sex, Lies, and the Truth. Yeah, I read this one. I have 3 daughters, all grown. I have 5 grandchildren. And it troubles me, the world we're in. It just troubles me. So I just wanted to give a little bit of history, so to speak. And I hope, I hope it
And that is
touches
your
your
time,
heart.
Ms. Johansson, but thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, that does conclude our public comment period. Thank you to all of our speakers. The next item on our agenda is consideration of the items on our consent agenda. Board members have had an opportunity to review the items on the consent agenda. I'll entertain any motion at this time.
So moved.
We have a motion from Vice Chair Swanson to adopt the items on the consent agenda, and we have a second from Ms. Mahaffey. Is there any discussion, any debate? If not, all in favor of adoption of the items on the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? I have at least 2 nays. We'll do a roll call just to make sure it's recorded properly. We'll start with Ms. Gordon.
Aye.
Dr. Ing?
Nay.
Ms. Edmonds?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Vice Chair Swanson?
I vote aye.
Ms. Mahaffey?
Aye.
Ms. Caulfield? And Ms. Rice? Abstain? All right, thank you. All right, the vote has been recorded. Is that correct? I can't see Ms. Allen. Yep. All right, and the motion does pass. So we will continue on with the agenda. The consent agenda has been adopted. We have one item on our action agenda tonight. a presentation from the Chief of Staff's office. I believe Mr. Scott is here. We'll hear about the I Love You Guys Foundation Memorandum of Understanding and Notice of Intent to Implement. Good evening, Mr. Scott.
Good evening, everyone. So I'll make sure that I'm my version up. All right. So good evening, everyone. Chair Haggerty, Vice Chair Swanson, Superintendent Taylor, and board members. This evening, I'm bringing forward for approval the enhancement of our current emergency response procedures. As you may recall, these were first introduced in a previous Safety and Security Committee closed session meeting. And with that, today, I want to give you an overview of kind of where our emergency response procedures are. I'm going to provide you some insight into why we'd like to change those. I'm going to provide you a very high-level overview of what the standard response protocol from I Love You Guys Foundation is, and I'll provide opportunity for engaging discussion and feedback. So first, currently where we are, we have, and these should be sound familiar to everyone, we have the code yellow, which just as a quick review for all those that are watching, is typically a protective action that we take when there is some sort of threat that is not directed at the school, but it could be in close proximity to the school. The code red, which we've heard before as well, is typically a threat that is on our property or in the building, but it's directed at a school. The code green is a protective action, just releases everything from whether it's a yellow or red back to normal operations. We have a fire alarm that's used to evacuate the schools, depending on what type of evacuation is needed. Our severe weather alert, that is our typical tornado safe action to shelter in place. And again, we use the code green to get everyone back to a normal operation of the school day. So why change? The standard response protocol, these are just some things that it does. It allows for more flexibility in managing emergencies than our current model. And I'm going to show you that once we get to our building blocks of the standard response protocol. It aligns with recommendations made from the 2019 SSAC assessment and also aligns with our strategic plan. The standard response protocol is also NIMS compliant. That stands for National Incident Management System, which is kind of an industry standard that introduces plain language speak and not using codes and colors and numbers and that type of thing to announce an emergency. It provides an all-hazards approach to emergency response, which means that it's not specific to one type of incident. You can use it for a myriad of things, which is also part of an industry standard. It solves the need for a protective action between code red and code yellow, which is a very big selling point for us. And it's also being used by many districts in North Carolina, and it's also gaining national acceptance as an industry best practice. So these are the building blocks of what the standard response protocol is, and I'm going to give you a little bit more about them in the next slide. So it's hold, secure, lock down, evacuate, and shelter. And as you've heard, it's an actionable word. It's not a color, it's not a number, it's not a code. It's an actionable word to tell you to do something. So a couple brief descriptions of what those things are. So secure is very similar to what we currently call our code yellow. But secure is just that. You're securing the campus. People come inside. Outside doors are locked. Everyone's inside the building, but they continue on with their normal activities. Hold is the action that's going to be somewhat new. That keeps students in classrooms and out of hallways, but it's best described as that thing that we're looking for between a code red and a code yellow. Kids aren't huddled down in a corner. They're still allowed to teach. Things go on still in the classroom. The lockdown, that's very similar to what our code red is. That is when you are locked down and you are doing the same procedures that we do for a code red, where the lights are out, the locks are done on the classroom doors, and the kids are huddled in the corner. Evacuation is just that. It's the words, the action of evacuating the building. And shelter is the action of being in a shelter-in-place position, similar to our tornado drill. And with that, board approval is requested, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. We'll go around the table, ask if there's any questions or a motion. We'll start with Ms. Mahaffey.
Chair Haggerty, I make a motion that we accept the proposal from Mr. Scott with the I Love You Guys Foundation.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Ms. Mahaffey. We have a motion from Vice Chair Swanson. Second from Vice Chair Swanson. I'm stumbling over my words tonight. I apologize. All right, there is a motion on the table. Before we vote, is there any discussion, any debate, or any questions for Mr. Scott? We'll start with Ms. Mahaffey, and then we'll go to Ms. Caulfield.
Thank you, Chair Hegarty. Mr. Scott, thank you for bringing this. I know it was briefly discussed at a previous meeting. If you could please share how we came to find this, starting with the security audit we did, what seems like not so long ago, but it's been a minute.
Great question. So a few things got us to this point. In the recommendations from the assessment from the School Safety Advocacy Council, they made a recommendation that we actually retire the coded word speak. That's been really coming out of practice for emergency responders for a number of years now. So this protocol will meet that recommendation. I would have to take a moment of personal privilege to thank Mr. Cortez and Mr. Canterbury, who also have helped really vet this to the nth degree. We have had our procedures in place for many, many, many years, and threats have evolved over time, and our response has not. This is a movement upward and an enhancement to what we're already doing. But after talking with several other districts that are going to this and being in national conferences and hearing how many other places are using it, and then really, really looking at it, benchmarking against it, the decision was made, this is the way we need to go.
And then what is the protocol your team has in place with administration to familiarize schools, families, students? I believe the consultant said human error is probably the most unpredictable piece in a safety. So normalization of these protocols, what is the rollout that we will see?
So great question. So the important thing to know is in this coming school year, 25-26, we're going to continue with what we have because this is a very large cultural shift for us. So we're going to use the runway of this coming school year to do a lot of teaching, a lot of training, and we're going to roll it out very similar to how we've rolled out RAVE. We're going to do quadrants of the county where we will go and do training specific to those schools and move throughout the county for a year. And in this time next year is when we'll look to replace what we had with what we have here. So we have a good runway. We didn't want to culture shock not only our staff, our students, but our community with, hey, we're going to do something new and just roll it out there. So we're going to take a long time to make sure that our community, our students, our staff are well-versed in this before we turn it over.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. To you and your team, I know you spent a lot of time researching this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mahaffey. Ms. Caulfield.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for bringing that forward. I just have a question, and I understand the security audit is what brought this up. And are we replacing the colors? Because on slide 7, that is going
Yes.
to be the new colors, correct?
Yes.
So I guess it's really more a question and a comment. The question
Okay.
is, you mentioned other districts are using them. Can you kind of fill us in on how many and how long they've been using it?
So when you look at the slide, let me talk to two things. One, on the slide, I love you guys uses just for their branding. The colors that you see with those building blocks, those colors are not part of the announcement or association. That's simply just the way they branded that. It happened, if you look at the slide, I believe the lockdown word has like red around it. That's just simply their branding. It has nothing to do with the actual protocol, just colors that they happen to use for the slide. So I've talked to, and it's ironic you asked the question, at our SRO summit last week, principal that is in our district now came from a district that has had this in place for 3 years and could not speak more highly about it. He is going to be one of my number one people I like to talk with now is how that district rolled, and it was Forsyth County that he came from that's been using it. I recently went to the SRO summit in North Carolina for the SRO resource officers, and there were several districts there that are currently using it. I can't give you the names of every district I talked to, but several that have been using it. I did specifically ask, what did you have before? How did it get rolled out? And what challenges did you have when you rolled it out? It's very similar to what we did with RAVE, is how this is going to be rolled out. We learned a lot from other big initiatives, the Verkada rollout, the RAVE rollout, now this is happening. And every time we've rolled out some emergency response procedure, we've learned a little bit better of how to make sure we're educating people so that it's not such a big culture shock. So we're doing a lot of research on how we're going to roll this out to make sure it's going to be as painless as possible.
Okay, and I appreciate Ms. Mahaffey asking about how you're going to educate the public, because the second part for me was how we were going to put this around schools and get families and students to understand, especially when it comes to language barrier or younger children who, for example, are not reading yet. But to see some of the colors was a little bit confusing to me. So like evacuate is green.
Right, that's why I wanted to make sure you understood. Don't
Right.
just think of it, just look at the word, but take the color away from it. When
So
the
we may
training comes up,
change what it looks like.
that's their branding of posters. We will probably have to figure out a way to make sure it's not confusing, because I had the same question you had when I first went to their training. I saw lockdown, I saw the color red, and I associate it with what we do, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, I thought we're getting away from colors, and what they explained to me was that's just our branding of the colors that they put with those words. So we'll make sure there's a delineation between what we currently have and what we're going to, so that there's not confusion of what we're doing.
Because I do believe the symbols and the colors is very symbolic of what people know. I mean,
Correct.
even from a
Especially young
stoplight,
kids.
you know. But yeah, so like the yellow seems like it would be more the purple, which could be a little confusing, and blue is secure, which everybody knows green is safe and go.
Correct.
So that's just my only concern, is how we're going to actually put this out for people to understand and be clear about what the new system is.
Yes, ma'am, and I think we will make sure that as our audiences, our training is, the way that we train a high school senior is not going to be the same way you talk to a third grader. And so we'll make sure that there's some delineation between those.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Caulfield. Other questions? Dr. Ng?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Scott. When I hear the word proprietary and branding, I immediately think about what's the cost. Is there any cost to it? Is there any hidden cost to it? Cost for training, cost for materials, what? Anything?
So I Love You Guys Foundation does have a training option that they can come down here, and there's a cost associated with them coming down here. I have talked with the Center for Safer Schools, who's also looking at bringing them back. They've been here before, but they were in, I believe it was Troy, North Carolina, when they first came. There is some discussion about bringing them back here. I would like to see them coming and just doing Wake County first and not doing it like a regional thing, but we'll look towards doing that if we can. But to answer your question in short, there's not a cost with using their product. It's just you all approving the MOU.
Thank you. Vice Chair Swanson.
Thank you, Mr. Scott, for bringing this, and it does bring back some memories being in the classroom, knowing the green, red, yellow. But I also think this is very appropriate to remind communities that what happens in communities also impacts our schools. And so hopefully as this new school year starts, families are having conversations about locking up and being responsible gun owners, making sure that those weapons do not make their way onto our campus, because then we would not have to have these conversations. And so I hope this is a good reminder for families. And, no matter what the cost is, I think it's worth exploring this to ensure that we're keeping our kids safe. Again, it's not going to be something that Wake County alone can do. It requires us to be in partnership with our sheriff's office, the 12 chief of police throughout the municipalities in Wake County, and Wake County as a whole. Because again, one system alone cannot change human behavior. So thank you.
And I would add, sir, thank you for that comment, that it's a comprehensive approach that keeps schools safe. It's not one, buy this one thing and we're done. So this is just another tool in our toolbox, and I kind of look at it as it's an improvement of the tools that we currently have.
All right, thank you, Vice Chair Swanson. Any other questions or any other comments from board members? If not, a sense of readiness to vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Thank you.
So at this time, we will proceed to our final items on the agenda, our information items. We will turn the microphone over to our superintendent, Dr. Robert P. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, the 25-26 school year will be in full swing on Monday when our traditional calendar schools go back into session. This is always an exciting time, and we have much to look forward to as the new year commences. For starters, we're welcoming students into 4 brand-new schools. 2 opened their doors today, and 2 year-round schools are already well underway. So that's 2 new schools that will be opening when we start, in addition to the 2 year-rounds that have already opened. It's a great reminder that Wake County continues to grow, and the vast majority of families continue to view our school district as the best place to educate their children. Thanks to the foresight and generosity of our county commissioners, we have the means to provide world-class facilities for our growing community. At the heart of everything we do, of course, is teaching and learning. We want every student to feel seen, challenged, and inspired, and that has to start with students being in school every day, on time, and ready to learn. Our schools will be emphasizing the importance of consistent attendance this year, while continuing to ensure that their schools are welcoming places for all students. The start of a school year is always full of energy and promise, and this year is no different. With new schools and a shared commitment to student success, I am confident we are beginning what will be a truly outstanding year. So my thanks to our students, staff, families, and community partners, the people that make this school district the dynamic and supportive place that it is. So let's make the 25-26 school year the best one. We have also started our fall sports season, and we are excited for the participation of students in athletic events. I want to take this opportunity to remind our students and families of the importance of good sportsmanship towards opponents and officials, as well as good citizenship when attending events. As a community, let us take this time to celebrate our students and enjoy these great community events. Next, I'm excited to share the finalists for the 2025 Principal and Assistant Principal of the Year Awards, which were just announced today. So get ready to find out if your name is on the list. The Principal of the Year finalists are Dr. Roxanne Sykes of Dillard Drive Magnet Elementary, Julie Sexton of A.B. Combs Magnet Elementary, Leslie Blake of Green Magnet Elementary, Keith Faison of South Garner High School, and Dr. Mariah Walker of Wake Young Women's Leadership Academy. The Assistant Principal of the Year finalists are Sonia Brown of Smith Magnet Elementary, Jasmine McNeil of Pleasant Union Elementary, Angela Griffin of Scotts Ridge Elementary, Amberly Scott of Cary High School, and Jose Espinal of South Garner High School. As always, these finalists were chosen by their peers, a true recognition of the respect and admiration they have earned in their schools. Each finalist will now move forward to the next stage, which includes submitting a portfolio, a school observation, and an interview. Winners will be announced on October the 2nd. We are fortunate to have outstanding administrators in every school across our district, and these finalists truly represent the best of the best. So you can learn more about each of them on our website. So again, congratulations to all of these exceptional school leaders. Lastly, I'd like to share this video highlighting the new partnership between Shaw University and our leadership academies. I do want to say that I had a chance to speak with the Wake Tech Board of Trustees and their president, Scott Rawls, to thank them for supporting our academies during the past year's transition. We know how difficult that was. Their efforts allowed us time to identify a new partner for our leadership academies. So juniors and seniors, as you know, at Wake Young Men's and Young Women's Leadership Academies have the opportunity to take college courses at Shaw University, all free, of course. In the video, you will hear from school administrators and students about this unique opportunity to earn college credit on this historic Raleigh campus. So take a look.
Well, we're really excited to partner with Shaw University and continue our legacy of dual enrollment here at Wake Young Men's Leadership Academy. This partnership does mean a lot to us, as we know the rich history that Shaw University has in our community, and we also are appreciative for the partnership as it will continue allowing our students to participate in college courses in the 11th and 12th grade.
It is a huge opportunity for them to be dual enrolled in the North Carolina University program. Here we're at Shaw University, and just being a part of the early college program and the innovative high school opportunities in North Carolina is phenomenal. Students are able to earn college credits so they can transfer into North Carolina colleges and university. They're able to transfer out of state at times too, and it really gives students an opportunity to dig into their passions, their interests, and an opportunity to learn about post-secondary opportunities.
Well, in 6th grade, they came to my elementary school and they told us all about it, so I thought it would be a cool experience.
It offers free college credits and it offers a lot of networking opportunities among the students and staff for going to college and hoping to get a job in the future.
The benefits are you get extra credits and you can get people to write you recommendation letters for colleges. You just build a lot of friendships and you get a lot of connections. It's easier to do things with colleges and school, and you got a lot of help. So it's no way to fail. The only way is success.
Benefit of being dual enrolled is really earning those college credits. The CIHS opportunity in North Carolina provides a great opportunity for first generation students to experience the collegiate lifestyle prior to their first year in college and undergrad. Many times students are able to earn up to 60 credits that they can transfer, oftentimes going in as college juniors by credit, and really maximizing their opportunity for post-secondary studies. Another wonderful opportunity in the CIHS programs here in North Carolina are the internships, the opportunities that students receive, the coaching, the guidance from amazing staff, not only at the high school level, but also at the collegiate level, which really thrusts them forward in an opportunity to be successful post-secondary.
One of the things that we've seen over time, just looking at data, is our students participating in dual enrollment in the college courses does help to change the trajectory of their life. They are not only taking college courses, but they also have the support of a high school team that helps them understand time management, helping them understand study skills on the college level.
I'm looking forward to the long run. We're starting here, but we're in it for the finish line. We want to see our students immersed in the Shaw University culture. We want to see them taking advantage of all the opportunities, the outstanding alumni, the illustrious staff that's here. We really want to see our students leaning into this experience so that they are poised for the next level of success when they leave, or potentially stay here and become official Shaw U Bears and not just dual enrolled students with Wake County Public Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That'll be all.
All right, thank you, Dr. Taylor. Well, next, we'll proceed to our board comments. Tonight, let's start with Ms. Caulfield.
Well, I don't normally go first, but thank you. I just wanted to wish all of the students for a traditional calendar a safe and happy year going forward. And that's it for our comments. Good luck, everybody.
All right, thank you, Ms. Caulfield. Next, we'll go to Ms. Rice.
No comments.
No comments from Ms. Rice. We'll move to Ms. Gordon.
This order is throwing me off, too. I just want to say, as we begin a new school year, I want to pause and talk about the importance of setting tone in our classrooms and schools. A joyful classroom and school community is not just about academics, it's about belonging, trust, and relationships. And for this reason, I would like to wish Miss Joanna Johnson of Willow Springs Elementary, who is also known as the Dancing Queen, a happy retirement. Ms. Johnson welcomes students on Friday mornings with music and her best moves, and says that students are so excited to get out and join with her, and she gets it. Setting the tone and the atmosphere for students getting out of the car in the morning is key to cultivating that culture at Willow Springs Elementary. I also want to say to our educators, I know that our year-round and our modified schedule educators are already in the buildings, but now our traditional calendar educators will join them. I encourage you to continue doing what you do best, building spaces where students feel seen, valued, and excited to learn. A smile at the door, a morning meeting, or a small celebration of effort can go a long way. And to our parents and families, your partnership is key. Asking your children not only what they did learn for the day, but how they felt in class, and questions like, what made you laugh today? Your encouragement reinforces the joy and care our teachers work so hard to create. And finally, I just want to say, as a board member, sometimes friends can ask, what's your biggest flex? Like, what's the thing that you're most proud of? And I can honestly say that my biggest flex is being an educator. And so as a board member and as a board, we remain committed to supporting our educators as the experts that they are, trusting their professional judgment and ensuring that they have the resources and respect that they need to create thriving, joyful learning communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon. We'll go to Dr. Ng.
Thank you. Good evening. I wish to welcome all the students back to school. Next week will be a busy week as our traditional calendar students are going back to school. I want to thank Mr. Snydmiller for giving us a good news on the status of our transportation system earlier today in our work session. It is good news that we have seen a rise in the number of bus drivers, and we can certainly use more, especially in the area of vendor transportation for our special needs, pre-K and McKinney-Vento students. I just want to remind the public that there are opportunities for parents of these students to apply for a stipend program so that they can provide their own transportation. And as the buses get back on the road, there will be a lot more vehicles on the road. And, I trust that people will do the right thing, make the right decisions on the road. I just want to make sure everybody drives safely, watch for children crossing the streets, and give yourself plenty of time to go to work. And that finger points back to me, too. 2 weeks ago, I had a chance to volunteer at Wake Ed Partnerships Tool for School store. It was great seeing a lot of new teachers taking advantage of the free supplies for their classrooms. A few of our other board members were there. And everyone got 100 points to shop, and there was a section for free stuff, too. I was at the register checking people out, and it was amazing how many teachers were able to get almost to 100 points. So they were really good at maximizing their point usage. So just a reminder that the school supply drive continues until August the 22nd, so there's still some time to donate to a good cause. Go to wakeed.org/toolsforschools to find out more about how you can help. And lastly, I just want to explain why I voted against the consent agenda. I voted against it, again, because of the grant opportunities listed. Most of them are great opportunities, I have to say, but I disagree with participating with the Little Free Library. And the idea of this organization giving increasing access to books in high-needs area and having it available 24/7, those are great ideas. And I agree with having access to perspectives from people of color and other people groups, but I do not agree with making books presenting LGBTQ plus perspectives available to the youngest of our students. And I usually don't go too deeply in the research on different grantors' websites, but just a brief review of their website shows that this is in their mission statement and their vision statement. So young children are not ready to be exposed to these ideas in these books, and I believe that books should be age appropriate in all the books that are available in our schools. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Ms. Edmonds.
Thank you. I'll have more comments about the start of the traditional calendar and just general back-to-school comments next meeting. But I would like to take this opportunity to read what is in the grant proposal for the Little Free Library. It says, Little Free Library is a nonprofit organization that seeks to expand book access for all readers. The Little Free Library's grant programs support a global network of volunteers to place book sharing boxes in underserved communities to improve literacy and remove barriers to book access. Individual schools may apply. And I'm proud to support that work and their work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edmonds. So you'll notice one of our colleagues was not here this evening. Mr. Hershey is away on travel, but I promised him that I would share some comments that he wanted to make sure were made at our meeting. And part of that is he did want to extend his thanks and gratitude to the members of the Raleigh City Council and the Raleigh City staff who've been working hard to get the sidewalk on Six Forks Road ready for all of the students who will be starting at Carroll Middle School. That has been an ambitious and extensive project, and they should be done with it by the end of the week, just in time for the start of school. And Mr. Hershey wanted to make sure that we expressed our thanks to them from the board. For myself, again, Dr. Taylor had mentioned it, we give great thanks and gratitude to Dr. Rawls at Wake Tech for really helping us to continue, to really be allowed to continue our early college program uninterrupted. And that was an incredible service, stepping in the gap and allowing all of those students to matriculate and still stay within the program, especially those graduating seniors. We're very excited about our new relationship with the president of Historic Shaw University, Dr. Paulette Dillard, and you saw the excitement from students and from staff about continuing on with that program as well. I think we had a safety and security presentation by Mr. Scott earlier. You know that we often don't talk about safety and security in public because when we talk about specific security methods or things that are in place, we want to make sure that bad actors don't have access to that. Please be rest assured that though it hasn't been talked about publicly tonight, this board will be reviewing everything that happened at Southeast Raleigh Magnet High School and security measures that were in place, what could be done to assist families and parents with reunification after the incident, what can we can do to ensure safety for kids at all of our schools, and particularly what we need to do to support that school, its students, and its staff. So we will have that briefing in closed session later tonight, and I'm sure more public comment or more comments for the public will follow. Finally, I want to thank Dr. Taylor for coming out and joining us in the Leesville Road community recently. I sometimes say that I'm a fixture in the Leesville community, having been there almost 50 years. Well, Baptist Grove Church is celebrating its 150th year on Leesville Road. Had been there 100 years before I even got there. And they hosted a wonderful back-to-school event. Dr. Taylor and I were there, and we were able to serve on a panel with several other experts, members of the district, members of the community, talking about the partnerships between community, between families, and the school system, and what we can all do to work together to support our students and their well-being. I don't know how many of you might have heard Dr. Taylor on The Light and his special radio interview, but anytime we can work together with our community partners and our resources for the betterment of kids, it really does create a lot of great synergy. And it was just a really positive event, and I'm glad that they approached us and asked us to participate in their event, and we want to continue to support community organizations like this as we go forward. So that'll conclude my board comments, and I will turn it over to Vice Chair Swanson.
Great, thank you, Chair Hegarty, and I will start by saying congratulations to our REMP school council, our newly REMP school counselors. It was an honor to stand in for you, Chair Hegarty, to bring greetings to the board on behalf of the board and celebrate them for their great accomplishments. I also had the opportunity to visit two of the year-round schools, Carpenter and Morrisville, with Area Superintendent Williams, where we were able to, meet with staff and the dedicated staff of those two schools, and grateful to the leadership of Principal Batten and Principal Collins for their leadership. And finally, I see Mr. Cole here, so I'm going to just go on and talk about the old rivalry game that's coming up between Cary High and Apex this Saturday at the Wake Med Soccer Park. This is the centennial anniversary of the old rivalry between those two schools. So, of course, I will be cheering for both schools. So go Imps and go Cougars, and looking forward to celebrating with the community as we celebrate this Saturday. Thank you.
It's just a question of what shade of green you'll be wearing, Mr. Swanson.
Ms. Mahaffey, I'll be wearing black, a Wake County black T-shirt, so I will not be, picking sides.
All right, thank you, Vice Chair Swanson. And we're going to conclude tonight with our senior member of the Board of Education, my colleague for as long as I've been on the board, Ms. Mahaffey.
Thank you, Chair Haggerty. And normally, I try to speak in 3 minutes or less. It is a self-imposed limit as it's what's afforded to our public comment speakers. But if I go over this evening, please forgive me. Tonight, I would like to take a moment to talk about gratitude. As we begin the school year, I would like to share my tremendous appreciation for every family that selects WCPSS for their children. I am incredibly grateful for every single staff member of the Wake County Public School System, and I want to thank our teachers, instructional assistants, specialists, child nutrition services workers, our librarians, coaches, counselors, social workers, custodians, testing coordinators, psychologists, pre-K teachers and assistants, regional program teachers, principals, assistant principals, and our interim administrators. I'm grateful for the students and families that are starting at our new schools. And it is so exciting to see how each school's culture is now forming, whether it's creating PTAs, naming mascots, or getting ready for a visiting artist, or seeing the formation of all the new arts and athletic programs that are coming to the school. I highly recommend everyone check out the Felton Grove Galaxies social medias. They are in full swing. I'd like to recognize the work of our bus drivers, contract transportation services, maintenance staff for our schools and transportation. I'd like to thank the folks that work out of Rock Quarry Road. Your praises are not sung enough. Our central support services team here at Crossroads 1, 2, and 3. And our academics team, grants team, area superintendents, their teams for all the work they do to support our schools. I want to highlight our budget team for the finance work and support they provide for our district and our school department budgets and our very large district budget. I'd also like to thank the elected officials that are working to fund public schools here in Wake County and across our state. And it is with this immense gratitude that I thank the community of District 8 that has selected me to represent them over the last 5 election cycles. And thank you to the board members I've had the pleasure to serve alongside. I've grown into this role and have enjoyed serving my community for almost 9 years. Big thanks to Melissa Allen for helping me as I have learned this role, and I don't have the words to summarize how thankful I am for her historical knowledge. And it is an immense gratitude in my heart that I share that my resignation from the Wake County Board of Education effective at the end of this month. While I may be moving from this seat, my love and support of this district will continue, and I am looking forward to spending more time with my family. And with that, Chair Haggerty, I would like to make a motion to return to closed session for reasons previously stated on the agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mahaffey. We have a motion from Ms. Mahaffey that has been seconded by Vice Chair Swanson. All in favor of the motion to return to closed session, please signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? All right, the motion passes. We will continue with closed session in the board conference room. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming out tonight. Please drive safely.